All right, folks. So it is day 136 of the year. It is 5/16/2022. Day 136. And I haven't done a weigh-in in over a week on camera. And there's a lot of reasons behind that. But we're going to do one today.
Please step on the scale.
Let's see here.
Your weight is 277.6 pounds.
Alright. There you have it. 277.6. Now to you that probably doesn't look much different than the last time I weighed in. I'm not even sure when the last time I weighed in was. On camera, that is. But now off camera there has been some things going on behind the scenes that I have not been reporting on very much. Well, I have, but I haven't went into a great level of detail. Excuse me while I'm waking up. In fact, let me grab a drink real quick and I will cut you back on in a second. Alright, I am back. So 2 weeks ago I had done my third week of ADF, and I was 3 days in that week to doing it, and my weight from that, at the end of it I reached 269 pounds. When I came off of the ADF, my hunger and my appetite was insatiable. I mean, to the point where I could not control eating binges like I was doing with just straight intermittent fasting. There were times I have reported that I was snacking and binging after my window closed, and I could not stop from day to day doing that to save my life. I read into it further, and people who go on longer fasts have metabolism crashes from diet, and most of our weight loss comes from diet, right? It's like 90% diet and like 10 to 15% exercise, somewhere along those lines. I don't have the numbers exact, but it's pretty darn close. Most of your weight loss comes from diet itself, and a small percentage comes from exercise. So basically, you can lose weight without the exercise, but with movement, of course, it accelerates it. Yeah, to an extent, And some of us, have really busy lifestyles where we can't get out and commit to a specific exercise routine. I know I'm moving around a lot. I do a lot that you don't see off camera. That most people, have no idea what it's like to even go through. When I get up and get ready to get myself ready in the morning, I have to bathe, shower, screw myself. And then my son, who is totally care dependent on my caregiving, as a 27-year-old man, depends on me to do those same things for him to get him ready. So it is quite the workout routine in the morning, just getting two people ready. And then throughout the day, when he's not in his day program, I have to tend to his needs and when he gets home. So then, my kids, they're both autistic, and they have different, well, my daughter goes to school in one town in a different county, and my son, he goes to his day program in the county I live in. So there's two different towns, and there's like a stretch of road that's a straight shot in between the two. A very straight shot in between the two. So I went. It took me an entire week to recover from this metabolism crash and these eating binges. It took me an entire week to get back on track from, and that number on the scale that you saw this morning, that 277.6, try over the course of last week, I went all the way up to 280 pounds. 279 and 280, I was fluctuating between those two numbers. So I'd gained like almost 11 pounds from the 269 I wound up with off of ADF. When my metabolism crashed and my food cravings kicked in, it was something else to get back under control. I knew every day that I was screwing up, and most of the time it'd be after I'd do my filming, after I'd get everything set in place, and I could not for the life of me figure out what the heck was going on. I didn't know that long a period of fasting would wreck your metabolism like that. It turns out it's not worth it. Intermittent fasting is cutting down on it's still being able to eat something every day, but what you're doing is you're cutting down on food, you're cutting down on calories. No matter how you break it down, you are cutting down. You're restricting time, but you're eating every day, so your metabolism stays kind of a little more in check with just straight intermittent fasting than it does ADF. I know there's a lot of people out there that's claiming success on it, and maybe their metabolism's different from mine. I'm not sure, but I check into some of them, and their oldest videos added, and it doesn't look like they're even big in the first place. So I don't know what to believe about that. I have not dabbled into that too much, and I don't think I'm going to. I see one out there, a lady that's doing ADF that does have, some issues with weight like the rest of us. So I'm not picking on anyone here. I'm not picking on this particular individual, but at the same time, as long as they've been doing ADF, they're not thinning down like I've seen a lot of other people do. So I think ADF has some serious repercussions that people need to look into. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. I do like it for a short burst. I will say that about it. If you're gonna do it for 2 days. Pick a week, do it for 2 days like I did in the first. You'll drop a lot of weight, but get right back off of it to your intermittent fasting plan and stay away from it for another month or so. I think it's only a valuable tool in the short burst. Like if you got something coming up, like people say, some kind of event like a wedding or Not that you want to look good for some kind of event, do it then and then forget about it. At least that's my experience with it. So I finally got my metabolism and my digestive situation going in the right direction. And how I started doing that is over last week when I was gaining weight back. What I wound up having to do toward the end of the week, what I was doing was I was overeating in my window on purpose, in my eating window. I was eating till I was stuffed and full, and I was trying to get as full as I could closer toward 5 o'clock, 4 and 5 o'clock, so I would have less of a chance of eating or gorging in my one of my window closed, when my food window closed. And that worked, and that paid off big time. And then Friday, I cut out red meat and I started eating chicken. You saw where I had the chicken and what was it? The Alfredo type dish. I'd heard about the Pollotarian diet years ago, and Pollotarian is basically sort of like a vegetarian, but they include the use of poultry meats in the diet, and poultry meats only, such as chicken, turkey, duck, goose, any type of poultry. I think you get the point behind that. And I know back in the 80s and 90s, a lot of people replaced red meat with chicken because of the saturated fat that's found in red meat. And I know a lot of people had success, swapping to a poultry-based diet like that. So basically, you can eat anything that the vegans eat, but yeah, you can add poultry to your diet. That is pretty good for me. The world used to have more turkey burgers and stuff in it, but most of your restaurants have gotten away from that with the incorporation of so much keto, so much focus on keto. They've kind of gotten away from all of that. But I've said in a few recent videos that I've had a lot of Lone Star tick bites, so I think I have a sensitivity to red meat and pork, and those sensitivities, they vary in levels from severity to mild to moderate, and sometimes when I lay down at night, well, I did when I did straight keto, back when I used to try to do Atkins, I would go on a straight meat kick. And I was breaking out on my lower part of my legs and my feet with this blistery, pussy type of rash, and I could not figure out where it was coming from. And it never went anywhere other than the calves of my legs and my feet, and occasionally, maybe I'd get one on my arm or something. But it never got too out of control. I'm wondering if that was part of that red meat allergy sensitivity, because when it was only doing that when I was going full-blown meats. In the induction phase of Atkins, where you eat nothing but meat, basically a carnivore diet. I mean, they just butchered Atkins' diet into pieces and come up with each phase of his diet as different diets. It is ridiculous. But Lord have mercy. But anyway, now I'm getting off topic again. But when I go into the second part of the phase and the third part of the phase, all of that would subside and calm down as I'd add more foods to it, because I wouldn't be eating quite so much red meat. Other things, helped control the meat intake. And some of your symptoms, they say, don't show up for 5 to 7 hours later after you eat a meal, and some of that is fatigue, nausea, stomach issues, which I've had some stomach issues and stuff, and they show up late at night when you're asleep. I've had that happen, and and on the more severe, you got anaphylaxis, where you have to carry an EpiPen with you, and you can't even eat anything that's touched where red meat has been. I thank God that my symptoms are not that severe, but they're annoying to the point where it'll make you want to try something different to see if you can get rid of the problems. And they say avoiding those foods for a while actually corrects the problem. For some people, it actually corrects the problem entirely. So I'm hoping that may occur by doing away with red meat for a while, and I'm going to follow this Pollotarian lifestyle for a little while and check it out. There's not much on it. There's not hardly any YouTube content at all about it, so I'm excited to take it on and give it a little bit of recognition. In the past few days, it has helped me drop down a few pounds. I am back under 50 pounds of weight loss now, thanks to eating chicken and vegetables. And I plan to incorporate that more over the week, hopefully to amplify my results even further. Well, I'm going to stop right here for right now because I'm really making this long this morning. I have a lot to say about this. This may be a long video, and if this interests you, just stay tuned to this channel. We're going to find out about this Pollotarian lifestyle together. But there is a whole wiki write-up on it. If you want to, Google search it, it's described as a semi-vegetarian diet that incorporates poultry. And it was coined its name, and people started to follow it in the 1980s. This has Gen X written all over it. And y'all know anything that Gen X did was great. Anything about the 80s was great, and they tried to bury it and tear it apart because it was just that good. So let's bring it back to life, shall we? Alright, so becoming a Pollotarian, how easy is it? I don't know. All I know is vegetarian, and you can have chicken on it and any kind of poultry. Now there's some other stuff that's kind of closely related, this whole pesco-Pollotarian thing where you can add seafood, which I'm not going to worry about that right now. I don't eat seafood a whole lot anyway. I don't care for the mercury content in it. But I don't stray away from some shrimp when I want some now and then. But I can live without that. So we're just going to do Pollotarian. Make it simple. And make it that'll be more affordable than trying to add seafood to it. So Pollotarian, that's what we're going with. So there's not much out there about this whole Pollotarian lifestyle. I've seen one or two people talk about it on YouTube, and it was some time ago, and they did not have the best of results. They did not stay with it resiliently, as you know I can do. So I'm going to try this head on for a few weeks and see
how I like it so far. It seems to be helping me go down in weight again. I like that part of it. So, since I can't ask Google much about a Pollotarian other than it's vegetarian / you can have poultry with it, let's ask some more questions about vegetarian and veganism. All right. Like, this is one thing I want to know, because I had a grilled chicken sandwich the other day. Can vegans eat bread?
According to Healthline, at its core, a bread recipe contains 4 simple ingredients: flour, water, salt, and yeast, a type of microscopic fungus used to help bread rise. Therefore, the simplest form of bread is vegan.
So, you hear that? Bread is on the menu. I like that. That means pasta is on the menu. Rice is on the menu. Yes, that is going to go a long way to helping me stay Pollotarian. Because, you know, hey, I can eat some spaghetti every now and then. I can stick with my wraps and vegetables. That's going to be my main staple there, because that's kind of like a sandwich. You know I love me some sandwiches. Of course, Subway has some options for me there. I'm not going to be picky about whether the chicken was cooked with meat or not, as long as I get some chicken, okay? So I'm going to eat me some Waffle House chicken sandwiches, for sure. And if they cook it on there, on the grill, you know, where they had just cooked up some beef, I am not going to be that picky, people. I am just not. Unless it just so happens I'm deathly allergic to red meat, which I'm not. But if it starts, you know, affecting me or having some issues, we'll think about it then. But in the beginning, I just not going to be that picky. No, not going to do it. All right, we'll talk to you in a little while when I get something to eat. I forgot to mention, and I think it's important that I mention as I'm getting this whole thing started, that I read that some Pollotarians, and just like with everything else out there, people have different beliefs on how they do things. I am new to this, so I read that some Pollotarians accept eggs and dairy into their diet. That is going to be me. Just to be clear, I am going to have eggs and dairy, although not all the time, but sometimes. I don't understand the egg point anyway, because the egg is how a chicken starts anyway. So, of course, that sounds like a no-brainer to me. But, you know, I don't eat or gorge on eggs consistently all the time, or dairy for that matter, other than cheese, you know, and that's probably where I'll get most of my dairy from, is cheese every now and then. But yeah, I'm not going to be that picky about it. Alright, that's all I got. Alright, so let's go in the Waffle House and get a grilled chicken sandwich and some hash browns. Sound good to you? I like the idea. I bet one thing for sure, I bet Lee won't never ask me to take another picture of her food. Will she? Alright, folks, so it is the end of the day, and as you can see, I had the Waffle House this morning. It was early this morning, around 10:30 a.m. and I got the chicken melt that I normally get. It comes with grilled onions and a slice of American cheese on there, and the hash browns. And I did not get the ham and the hash browns this time, because, you know, I'm trying out this Pollotarian lifestyle. Now, the second plate that you saw was, we went back to our favorite Mexican restaurant, and I got something different.
something that was all chicken based. It was chicken Hawaiian is what they called it on the menu. It's just their spin on Hawaiian chicken. If you've ever eaten it at a steakhouse or some restaurant where they have pineapple in it, it had some pineapple chunks in it, and of course it had rice and a cheese sauce. So that may have been a little too much cheese, because I feel a little inflammation off of that, and I think eating cheese twice today may have had something to do with that. I'll have to make sure I keep that a little under check next time when I go to the Mexican restaurant. Get something without quite so much cheese on it, or maybe just not eat it twice a day, or at least not every day. For a while, until I can, get these inflammation issues straightened out that I'm having. I mean, I can take medicine and it goes away, it clears up, but I'm thinking, a little bit of the inflammation that I've experienced, maybe coming from sensitivities to the alpha gal, the tick bites. I'm not sure. They're not severe, but I do think they're there. I mean, since I got real heavy into metal detecting since 2016, and even before that, I can remember way back a long time ago, back when I still worked. Had to be back around 2008 or 2009. I can remember coming home from work one day, and I felt an itch on the side of my stomach there, and I pulled off the Lone Star tick is not that big, but this particular one was bigger than usual, and it had the white spot on its back. And we used to always say that that was the worst one. That was the one that gives you the Lyme disease. Well, turns out the white spot, I think, is the female. I could have it backwards, and the one without it is the male, or vice versa. But that white spot is why they call it the Lone Star tick, because it's like a little tiny white spot in the center of its back. I'm thinking that's the female. I could be wrong. I was wrong one time. It might be the male, but I'm pretty sure it's the female. I'm not sure. Google it if you wanna know for sure. And pretty interesting, to find out about that red meat allergy. Anyway, from what that Lone Star tick causes, and I can remember that spot swelled up on me, and it itched for weeks and weeks and months. I guarantee it itched for over a year or better, and then. When I got heavy into metal detecting with the group, and we were looking for the Hollingsworth mill and stuff, I probably had over a dozen tick bites. Some with a white spot, some without. Some of them were so tiny they have 3 different molten phases that they go through. So you can get them really teeny tiny on you, and they are just as aggravating. They bite you in all 3 stages. But I'm pretty sure as many as that I've had, some of the guys in the group may experience symptoms as well, and just not even know it, or just not even are aware of that's where they could possibly come from. But this video is getting longer and longer. I didn't want to go into all that too much today, but since we did. But anyway, that I read that dairy, since it was comes from cows and stuff, actually cause reactions as well, and you have to really go to an allergist and get a proper test to find out what you're allergic to and what you're not. Cause I seen one guy, he was allergic to every kind of red meat under the sun, but he lucked out and he was not allergic to venison, which is deer. So he hunts for his own red meat, and hopefully, that. But yeah, there's a lot of information out there that if you avoid eating those stuff for a while, that your body has natural defenses that can correct stuff like that if it's not constantly having to fight against it. So that's what I'm trying to do, put it down for a while and try out different new things. So alright, I think I better end this here. If there's anything else I need to say, I'll say it tomorrow. Pollotarian, here we go. Alright, folks, till tomorrow. Y'all have a good one.